Well, thank you, sir, for joining me today. If you can open up with your name, your age, and a little bit of your employment history, that'd be great.
I'm Bruce Given. I'm 60 years old. Just turned 60, actually.
Congratulations.
I joined
Happy
the force,
birthday.
Thank you. I joined the forces in 1977 in St. John, New Brunswick. I retired in December of 2000, so 19 years ago already. I've been retired some time there. Was employed back on the base as civilian. That lasted a short time.
Yeah.
And attempts at self-employed in between there. Otherwise, I've basically been unemployed.
Yeah. So 26 years.
24 years.
24 years in
years.
service. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for your service. I appreciate that.
Thank you for saying so.
So, if you can kind of, take us through why we're sitting here today. So what sort of ailments did you kind of begin treating, and how long ago was that?
Okay, we'll go back to 1999 there, and was my second tour in Bosnia, and came back with some PTSD issues. So I was being treated for that medicinally through medications, pharmaceuticals, psychiatric help, and when I retired, it intensified me intensely there. I'd done a tour in Croatia, a tour in Bosnia, a tour in Haiti, and I did 4.5 years in Germany. That was actually what they call their beer tour.
Oh, that was the beer. Oh, so you did a beer tour in Germany? Yeah, okay. The other one seemed like there wasn't as much beer involved.
There wasn't much beer involved. At that point, however, we were allowed 2 beer per day, and I don't think you are anymore.
So there was 2 beer a day in the other countries.
Yeah.
So was Bosnia? Were most of those tours pretty intense for you, or was Bosnia a fairly severe tour? Or?
Croatia was the first one there, and it was in 92, 93. The war was from 91 to 95, so it was in the heat of the battle. A lot of things went on there. Guys hitting tripwires, landmines, shooting going on all over the place, sort of thing. Rocket propelled grenades, that sort of thing there. And part of my chore there was to keep the main roads open and the routes for the troops coming through, and that we were able to cross our bridges and structural points there, that they were secure enough to take the load of a tank or a heavy vehicle across them.
You're an engineer.
I was an engineer.
Yeah, so you were looking after the infrastructure, supporting the troops in these countries. Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, and so you saw quite a bit of action over these tours. You were all over the.
I was all over the map of the country that it was in at the time. I was in each country, actually.
Yeah. So when you came out of that last tour in Bosnia, so what happened? What happened there?
Well, actually, the first time I was there, I was in Sarajevo, so it's in the middle of the mountains. So when we had a big thunderstorm, it actually hit me like there was artillery fire coming in, because artillery fire was coming in and around back in 92, 93.
Yeah.
But in 99, the war had ended. Croatia made a big boost to enhance and improve themselves, where Bosnia hadn't, in my view, as an individual there, not necessarily as the militaries, but. I remember that the Americans had bought 25-year leases for the properties that we were surveying and building and fortifying for the tour there. But there were lots of incidents close to home that happened. Like, I was ordered to survey in a place that hadn't been cleared of landmines, and after doing my job there, I actually refused the job first twice. You can't really refuse some things like mefloquine poisoning, that thing that's going on right now. We had no choice to take mefloquine when I was in Haiti in 95.
So you took mefloquine?
I took mefloquine for 7 months while I was in Haiti.
7 months?
7 months. I was a part of the advance party. I left 3 weeks before any other Canadian showed up.
Yeah. So that's just hitting the news cycle right now.
It is.
Actually, this week I saw a story on action being taken against the military over the mefloquine.
That's correct. There's a lawsuit, and when I joined the lawsuit in December, I was about 238, and the number of people that were in on the lawsuit, it's close to 1,500 now.
Wow.
And growing.
Yeah. So what were the effects of this mefloquine? Did you notice any effects when you were on it, or?
I did there, and I had problems, and part of those problems kept me awake at night. Yeah. So because I was awake at night and didn't sleep well, I occupied myself otherwise to enhance our mission, to get plans and thoughts and ideas put together in paper so that we could go out and do the fortifications and whatever it was we were doing. So I actually ended up getting an extra medal for that tour. I got a military merit from the American forces for that tour there, and I think it was partly because I was awake at night.
So
what was I going to do when I was awake at night? We were confined within a compound of the base that I worked.
Yeah. So was that So I guess was that kind of the beginning of medical treatment for yourself? You're on mefloquine. It was an anti-malaria drug, but I believe, right? Was it malaria?
Anti-malaria.
Okay, yeah, just to confirm. And then when you came off that tour, then did you start experiencing some other issues, and you entered the medical system further?
I actually went and spent a lot of time at the military national medical center in Ottawa there, and they did a lot of testing on me for numerous things there, but they ended up breaking it down and telling me that I had IBS, of all things.
Oh.
Again, which is a big side effect of this mefloquine poisoning, is gut issues. Wet gut, they refer to it as. And a simple solution, actually, which I was astounded that I never really got from my doctors, that I got from Dave Bono, who's one of the lead characters from Somalia in this lawsuit there, that probiotics was the answer to cure the guts.
Okay. Yeah. So you
eat healthy, act a little healthy, exercise, that sort of thing. They all come together.
Yeah.
And for a long time, as I retired and got into the testing for the PTSD, I was tested and found out I had 50%. They gave me a rate of 50% for the PTSD.
You only had half PSD?
50%.
PTSD, sorry.
50% on a scale of 1 to 100 is 50% being I'm in the middle of the road of what the issues were.
Severity. So you were middle, you didn't have half PTSD.
No, I didn't have half PTSD.
You had full PTSD, 50% severity.
Yeah, correct. So I was reassessed a year and a half later, and they bumped it up to 65%. In retrospect, because of the mefloquine lawsuit, I have found answers to situations that I didn't know that, or I related to the PTSD that weren't PTSD at all, and they say that there's a lot of medications and things that didn't respond and work well for us in PTSD. That's a fact.
Yeah.
And medical marijuana has really improved numerous things for me. In 2015, I started medical marijuana.
Yeah.
And my socialization skills have improved. I'm not so isolated. I'm not so angry. I'm not so frustrated. I'm not so easily to frustrate. It's been a struggle because originally I was given 5 grams a day. Then the government knocked us back to that 3 grams a day, and why the government has any room in our bedrooms or our medical between us and our doctors is no place of theirs.
Yeah.
So I actually think the mefloquine poisoning is responsible somewhat for my first divorce. I was married for 24 years to a German girl I met while I was on tour in Germany.
Yeah.
And
on the beer run.
We have two lovely boys together.
Yeah.
And when I came back from Haiti with that mefloquine poisoning, and I knew nothing about mefloquine poisoning, but I had heard about Gulf War syndrome. And as I looked at the list on the Gulf War syndrome, the comparison between the two with that and mefloquine poisoning were so similar, and I had so many identifications with those issues that were highlighted: fear, anxiety, crowds, nightmares, sweats. Oh, I sweat so bad there that you think
at nighttime.
You think I took a shower in the bed, sort of thing. There at nighttime, often, still do.
Yeah.
Nightmares, they come and go, and they come and go more so with rehashing out some of the stuff, of course.
Yeah.
At the lawsuit going on, and the paperwork I invested for, actually I'm quite a bit of a bookworm, kept a scrapbook and got notes and things to go back to and identify things that I have no reason to embellish upon any of this there, that I've provided the the videos and things to my psychiatrist and psychologist to back up my story, per se.
Yeah.
So, but it's been quite a struggle with Veterans Affairs, and I had 3 battles to get reinstated from the initial 5 grams that was dropped to 3 back to now I'm taking 6 grams a day, actually.
Yeah.
So
now you don't. Just to touch on that point, so when you say you're taking 6 grams a day, is that all in the form of dry flower, or how do you what type of regimen are you on today? Have you worked kind of formula for yourself?
I'm still working on that. Actually, I got a butter machine, I got a decarborator, and I've had some issues with recipes in particular. One of the hardest things is nobody says to take 2 grams of this and add it to 2 ounces of that to make the green that you want to adhere to, or the cookies and edible recipes out there seem to be plentiful, but I'm more interested in creams and salves for my aches and pains that I have in my body.
Yeah, so you're making your own topicals.
I'm attempting to.
I'm
just starting to now.
Okay.
Just because it's just been recently that I've been reinstated from the 3 grams to 6, and there wasn't enough available in 3 grams to be able to do that.
Yeah.
With the 6. And I know Veterans Affairs, and some people may not like that because they don't adhere to or see the reliability of the standard of that, the risk to children being accessible to it, that sort of thing there. I see what some of the issues are. However you ingest it, smoke it, vape it, or eat it, if it's all beneficial, shouldn't matter whether you're doing one or the other, that aspect of things.
So that's kind of where you're at right now. So how did you engage with it? So what drove you? Why did you decide to even look at medical cannabis? Like, what was that thought process?
I was on a whole lot of prescription pills.
Okay, yeah.
I had things like Effexor, amitriptyline. I had for my pain, I was on a lot of Oxycontin and things like that. So I had a lot of feeling over-medicated by some of those medications. And I'd heard that this was reducing the reliability on that. Well, sure as shit, I'm in half of those medications today that I was then. The more serious medications I'm on are for my heart. I had a quadruple bypass in 2010. And but I have a lot of pain issues and things there that it has done wonders for me, and I'm no longer on any pain pills.
Oh, no pain pills?
No pain pills. No.
Wow.
Other than for arthritis. I take up to Tylenol every day for my arthritis.
Yeah. And what was that? So how do you feel, I guess, today, now that you're on no pain pills and at half kilter on some other stuff, like versus, I guess, what was it? Well, when did you first start taking medical cannabis? Was it 3 years ago?
2015.
Oh, it was in 2015.
2015.
Okay, yeah. So how do you feel today compared to 2015?
I'd say I'm 50% better of a person, of a man, to be able to interact and socialize. Like I said, I was divorced initially after 24 years. I was in a common law relationship for 6 years. That ended, and I'm married again. I just got married in February. So I still want a relationship.
This has been a big year.
Relationships are one of the hardest things to maintain and go on, whether it's a normal relationship or not.
So does medical cannabis help? Is there a medical cannabis for that?
She doesn't relate to it, no, so I'm going to say no.
So there's nothing for
relationships. She tolerates it, nothing to hide in a third relationship, so it is what it is, kind of thing. She had the option to opt out, obviously, beforehand.
I think drug companies all over the world are looking for the relationship pill.
Good luck on that.
Yeah, good luck. All right, Bruce. Well, hey, thank you so much for chatting with me, and again, thank you for your service, and you have an amazing story, and I'm glad, I'm glad it sounds like, things are progressing. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.